Good morning, welcome back to Moorland de Quinault. We are now on the top floor. We've been working for the last 3 or 4 months on the master bedroom, getting that complete and filming with the guys at Channel 4. So you have to stay tuned until we can show you shots of that, until it's released on Channel 4. So we're now working on the top floor of the mill, and we are about to start replacing the floors. I think we've done all the structural stuff elsewhere, so we've got all the floors to replace and try and patch all the holes, which I shall just show you. So this is that's the top floor, which we've already done. So the kind of granny, the attic. You'll see we've replaced all the joists and it's got new OSB subfloor on it. So now we're on what we call the top floor. It leads directly to the terrace. And here, really our old silo position. So there was timber silos here, 3 stories high, machinery here. Everywhere there was a hole through the floor. There was a belt coming up that was driven from the turbine. So there was machines sat here doing, sorting and selecting and grading all the flour and the grain that was processed. So some large holes here. This area here is in fact going to be a staircase, so we don't need to replace this in its entirety. We've got a stair coming up here. A hatch we're going to keep because it's terribly useful. We are going to move it across slightly because it does interfere with our position for the staircase. So you'll see that's the position of the old hatch, and if we go up, we've moved the new one about 1 metre to the left. So, and we've made it wider as well. So we'll have this hatch that will be here, and the staircase will start here. So we'll then use this hatch and the winch indeed if we've got any heavy elements or high elements that we need to lift up through the floor. So we need to clear all the stuff from the floor, probably move it to that side, and we'll do this half, and then we'll move that stuff to this side and then clear it again. So we'll move all this stuff eventually here, which is why actually we need to redo the floor. We've got a chauffe or a hot water cylinder. Here's going to be a toilet for this kind of upper area. So we need to redo the floor because that chauffe also heats up the water for the master bedroom and the kitchen. So the plan is, you'll see it's kind of holy anyway, so we'll rip up this floor, we'll keep it for firewood. We're going to put some new OSB down, which is actually a little bit thinner as well, and then we've got an engineered oak going on top of this area, obviously ceramic tiles in the bathroom area. So I'm going to shift all this, move it across there, and then we shall start ripping up the floors. brute force. Just go along and de-nail these beams at the same time so we don't, they're a magnet for knees. So we made a reasonable progress in what, 10-15 minutes. Got all these up, just got all the mess below, but I'll leave that for the good lady. We'll continue on this section, probably back to the beam, and then we'll go over here and do that section back to the beam. We'll get some temporary OSB down just so we can access this, and then we can assess the condition of the joist and the level. And once we've got the whole lot stripped to this section here, we can then get a level out and then determine the best level for the new floor. So by way of update, we made reasonable progress. That was the floor. And then we've exposed these joists. Some have been chopped, I think, really for the purpose of the previous industry, in terms of obviously the mill and the machines that were in the mill. So there's a few, like here, that's going to need replacing. There's a couple with these acros, this one and this one are gone completely, so I'll need to put new joists in. So I think in this section, and that's before we check the level, we've probably got about 5 joists to replace. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, probably that one will take it right to the main supporting beam as well. So certainly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 we've got to do. But I think obviously we'll clear our feet, get rid of the timber, there's some below, and then we'll come back and brush these down, have a look at replacing the 5 joists, and then we'll work in this bay, then we'll work on the next bay, and then we'll level that through here, whether we need to raise the joists or need to put other smaller sister joists up to get a uniform level, we've yet to decide, so stay tuned. So we've cut out the 5 joists that were broken, cracked, and then need a replacement. Cleaned out the sockets on the wall. We've cut 3 new joists, and then we've treated the ends with bitumen. They are treated joists, but it's just to give some additional protection as the joist sits in the wall end, just in case there's any residual moisture in there. So we'll try and get these 3 in, and then we can focus on the final 2. So we managed to get the first 3 in, relatively straightforward, thankfully. The beams are a bit smaller than the existing oak beams, but that's fine because we're going to have to pack them up anyway, so we'll just have wedges here, either slate or hardwood, to lift them up, and then we'll do the same here, again just to lift them. We actually need to re-level this whole floor anyway, so it's more than likely these would need to if we keep them, be wedged up or notched down anyway. So we've got 3 in, 2 to go, and then that's that repair in this section done. I shall probably also repair this one. Again, just because we've got a toilet going above here and there's a water heater with 300 litres of water in it, I don't really want to rely on the nails joining these two together, so we'll probably take this one out and then put another one in here, and that'll be 6 in that section. Then that will be ready for levelling and then flooring, and then we can crack on with this next section. So we've got this section pretty well complete in terms of the joists. We've put 5 new joists in. As you can see, the yellow ones there. We've levelled up this so it's level with a step, and this is our engineered oak. So it's about 15mm plus a membrane. So it should tie in with the door. So it's level all the way across there. And we've levelled the ones at the back corner as well. Across here. So we've packed these up, the small ones, and then even the existing beams we've lifted with the acro prop so we can level them across. So there's a bit of a height difference, which is fine because it's easier to lift these. I think we're okay over here. So these ones will need to lift up, and then it should be, this bay, 2 bays, should be pretty uniform. The important thing is the door. I mean, obviously it doesn't matter if it's slightly falling to meeting the existing levels, but the important thing that we can open the door with the engineered flooring here. So yeah, so good progress. We'll continue on. We'll get some OSB across and cut. Just need to check the existing stone wall, make sure it's low enough that we can slide the OSB in there without it fouling the OSB. So that's what we'll do next. So we've made progress. We've continued to strip the second bay. We do have a number of beams that have been chopped for equipment and chutes and risers, so these will have to be replaced. This one was just too short. It was just chopped because, again, there was a tube or a vacuum tube or a conveyor through there. These ones are not too bad. We've got a lot of rubbish to deal with on the floors. We have managed to started to replace these ones, so we've got 5 new joists in. Again, they're not particularly level yet, but just in place, and then we'll level that when we've got the complete floor joists in. So we've got all our beams leveled, and we're now just cutting the floor. So we haven't pinned any down yet because we need to sort plumbing for the shower and toilet in that corner. And then we'll do these as a cut piece at the end. So we've got a toilet, shower, bathroom going in this location. So we're now cut around here just for this corner detail, so we can go into the window. We will mortar this piece as well because there isn't a timber at the window side, so once we've cut these to size, we'll then mortar that up so it's level and we can rest the OSB on the mortar, and then we'll just continue on cutting our sheets to size, finish this section, and then we'll work next, probably hopefully this afternoon, jump to the other section over here, and we'll start raising these joists and leveling them to tie in with this side. So the little wood-eating beasties have been busy. So we're going to clear all that out, see the extent of the problem that we have, and then we'll actually try and patch. I mean, they are oak beams. They are also a centre span on a column here. So they're only spanning about 3 meters. So we'll cut out the worst of it, try and square it up, get some additional timber in there. And try and do a resin timber repair along here so we don't have to replace that. So looks worse than it is. I mean, it is bad, but hopefully it's repairable, so that's what we'll try and do. So we've got some spare oak, some of the old beams that we've taken out. So we're just going to try and piece in as much as we can, and as big a pieces as we can. So I need to trim this one to try and get it down, sink it below so it goes down to here. This is the plan. So just need to try and shape this as best I can with a saw, and then take some off the existing beam as well. So that's what we'll do. So we've now filled the beam. We've put timber in where it's possible, where it was wide enough, and we've chiseled some out. So we've got some decent lengths of oak timber in there, and obviously the rest we've filled with a mix of epoxy resin and the chips that we've had when we've done the oak to fill that gap. So obviously, I mean, the beam's structurally sound notwithstanding the damage, because it's still in existence and it's still supporting the floor. So, you know, we've removed the rot, we've treated it, and anything we do now will only improve that. So we'll give that epoxy a chance to set, and then we'll probably top it up, just get it sunk a little, which is fine because I know it's getting full penetration in the beam. What we'll now go on to do, because that one was obviously impacted by rot, this one here is too high, just with the floor level. So I'm going to start with a router and then just go across with our jig and start reducing the height of this beam. Obviously make sure there's no nails in it, because nails and router bits don't really work that well. So we've set up these OSB sheets are at the right level for the floor, and these beams are levelled with these beams. We've raised the jig off the floor just so we can overcome this beam which is higher, and then we've set the depth on the router to just above the beam, because it's oak, we'll do it in 2 or 3 passes. So we'll set up and we'll get going and show you what we're doing. Again, so you see this is the bit we're using, so it's a flattening bit for the router, and you'll see it's doing a good job of flattening this. Obviously we'll get it, go down in a couple of mil, and then we'll do a final pass so it's all at the right level, but it's certainly an easier way than using a planer. So I think this beam's okay this side, we've got a bit more to do here, and then we're down to the correct level. So we'll finish this section off here and then we'll work our way back. This is really to the higher sections. So So here we are, and we have finished this section of the floor. We've also done the staircase section, and then just cut a aperture. It's a temporary staircase. We're going to do a monostring or steel staircase, but we've done that. We've repaired all the beams, lowered this particular beam under here, and we've epoxied this beam that was the one that was damaged by termites and rot. We were originally going to put a toilet in here, but this area is actually going to be used for a snooker table, and I didn't want hampered queuing with this toilet here. So we've actually removed the plumbing. This plumbing here is for the hot water boiler that's now above, and we're going to put the toilet in the space that we've created when we did the hallway. So the toilet's going to go in here. You'll come up the staircase, you'll turn left, and then there'll be a small bathroom here that will serve for this open area, and then also the outside space as well. So it's a great space. It must be, I think, 7.5 meters by 6.5 meters wide. And then all we've got to do next is this section across here. So again, same process. We'll start ripping up the floor. Obviously check, this is where the old staircase was. We've just got a temporary beam in there. So we'll start ripping up the floor. I won't show you that, I won't bore you with that detail, but it's going pretty good. And this is the kind of top floor. Obviously we've got the attic above, so once this is done, we've got one floor below, and then the ground floor, and then really we can start putting things back in, as in partitions and plumbing and drainage and radiators. So this is really the last of the big element of the kind of main structural stuff. So thanks for watching. If you made it all the way at the end, we would be grateful. If you haven't already subscribed, if you could like and follow and click that notification icon, you'll get some notifications when we post new videos online. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.